The spiritual practice of reflection is one of my favorite and important spiritual practices, especially as I complete a cycle like the ending of the calendar year. Because with reflection, you get to see where you started at the beginning of the cycle, and then you witness how you've been transformed at the end of the cycle. And so for this video, I continue the questions that you can ask yourself to help remember and reflect on this past year as a spiritual practice. So in the last video, I asked the question, what surprised you? What happened and how did you respond to those different surprises? For this video, I want to continue on and building from that and pose a couple more questions for you. So the next question is, how did you grow this past year? You know, as you think about each month of this last year or the different areas of your life, how did you grow? One of the things I brought up last time is about looking at the lessons that you learned from the surprises or what showed up in your life. And whether or not you experienced some challenges or had some significant accomplishments, you most likely picked up a few key insights along the way and were transformed by your experiences. So go ahead and write down these lessons. Ask yourself how you've grown as a result from these experiences. And then the second question is, how are you different now than when you started off at the beginning of the year? How are you different now than when you started off? You see, when you start to recognize how much you've grown and how much you've changed, you realize that you yourself have been in a process of growth, whether or not you realized it. And it's good to be able to take stock of all of the different ways that you've grown and changed. The third question I want to pose to you then is, what made you come alive this year? This is one of my favorite questions. Where did you feel the juice? What made you feel fully present in the moment? Because aliveness is a quality that speaks to your uniqueness. What makes you alive is very different from what makes somebody else alive. And it's a clue, or what I call a divine breadcrumb, that gives you a pathway to seeing what ways light you up and how you could express more of that in and as your own life. And so as a result of your own uniqueness, your joy is also unique to you. And when you recognize what brings you joy and that feeling of aliveness, you open yourself to a greater awareness and an understanding of what brings you meaning in the world. So really consider, where did you feel that energy, that zest, that aliveness in your life? And so these stirrings in your heart are signposts to the real you. I'll be sharing some more of these reflective questions over the next few videos. And so I encourage you, go ahead and take a journal and write down what came up for you. Watch the previous video if you haven't seen it yet. And then watch out for these other coming videos, because what we're doing is we're wanting to use this practice of reflection as a way to capture what happened this year so that you can then take it forward into next year as a lesson for you for how you could be more of your authentic true self. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. My name is Joselito Ladencia. I'm a spiritual life coach with abundantgood.com. Abundant blessings and namaste.